Every Christmas, while my family laughed, exchanged gifts, and sipped hot cocoa by the fire, I was stuck in the kitchen sweating over a turkey, basting ham, stirring gravy, and juggling 10 dishes at once. To them, I wasn't a daughter, sister, or aunt. I was their personal holiday chef. The worst part? They never said thank you, not once. Plates piled up, food vanished, and they bragged about their perfect family dinners on social media like I didn't exist. One year, I got the flu so bad I could barely stand. I begged them to order takeout or at least help. My mother's response? We'll all starve if you don't get it together. Don't ruin Christmas for everyone. That was the moment something inside me broke. So, the next Christmas, I didn't show up. No warning, no excuses, just silence. And while I sat quietly at home, sipping wine and watching a movie, my phone exploded with panicked calls. Turns out without me, Christmas wasn't so perfect after all. And what happened next? Well, that's when the real revenge began. Hey everyone! Welcome back to Revenge Flame, the channel where we dive into the raw, emotional, and sometimes shocking stories of betrayal, heartbreak, and the sweet taste of payback. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Because trust me, you don't want to miss the stories we bring to life every single week. This isn't just about drama. It's about real people who were pushed too far, who finally said enough is enough, and who took back their power in unforgettable ways. Some stories will make you cry, others will make you gasp, and a few might even make you clap out loud. And today's story, it's about a woman whose family treated her like nothing, more than their holiday chef until she skipped Christmas one year and left them completely panicking. I grew up in a family where holidays were supposed to be about love, togetherness, and sharing traditions. But in my house, there was one tradition that never changed. I was the one chained to the kitchen. It started small. When I was a teenager, my mom asked me to help out with Christmas dinner. But by the time I was in my 20s, helping out turned into cooking. The entire meal while everyone else lounged in the living room. My dad carved the turkey like he'd earned it. My siblings bragged to their friends about our family dinners. And my mom? She always acted like the hostess of the year, even though she never lifted a finger. They treated me like the family's holiday chef, not a daughter or sister. I barely sat down to eat because I was too busy running around, refilling plates and scrubbing pans. It was like my worth only existed in the food I made. And the saddest part? They didn't even notice how exhausted or unappreciated I felt. That all changed the year I finally decided I wasn't going to play their chef anymore. The breaking point didn't happen overnight. It built up slowly, year after year. At first, I told myself I didn't mind cooking. After all, it was family, and the holidays were supposed to be about giving. But as time went on, the giving only went one way, me to them. Every December, my siblings rolled in late with their partners, carrying nothing but empty hands and hungry stomachs. My mom barked orders from the couch. Don't forget the gravy. Make sure the ham doesn't dry out. Like I was her unpaid caterer. My dad poured himself another glass of wine and gave speeches about family unity, while I scrubbed pans in the background. What stung the most was the complete lack of appreciation. No thank you, no offers to help, not even leftovers saved for me. They ate, laughed, and left me with the mess. By the time I finally sat down, the food was cold and the joy was gone. One year I was so sick I could barely stand. I asked if we could order food instead, just once. My mother snapped, "Do you want to ruin Christmas for everyone?" Don't be selfish. Selfish. That word echoed in my head all night as I cooked through a fever, trembling, drenched in sweat, while my family carried on like I didn't exist. That was when I realized something. Christmas wasn't about family to them. It was about tradition, and I was just the servant keeping it alive. So I made myself a quiet promise. The next year, things were going to be different. Very different. The final straw came the Christmas before everything changed. I'd been up since 5 a.m., peeling potatoes, roasting vegetables, and basting the turkey every 30 minutes. My back ached, my hands were raw from scrubbing. But I kept pushing through because that's what they expected of me. When dinner was finally ready, I carried the dishes out one by one. My family cheered not for me, but for the food. "Wow, Mom, you've outdone yourself again," my brother said, clapping his hands. My mother smiled proudly, taking credit for everything I had slaved over. She didn't even glance at me. I sat there in silence, my chest burning. While they praised her for a feast she hadn't lifted a finger to make. When I finally spoke up and said, "Actually, I cooked everything," my sister rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic. It's just food. Stop fishing for attention." Those words cut deeper than I could ever explain. Just food? Was my time, my effort, my exhaustion really worth nothing more than just food. When dinner ended, they left their plates on the table and wandered off to watch movies, laughing in the living room. I was left alone in the kitchen with a mountain of dirty dishes and tears stinging my eyes. I realized then that I wasn't part of the celebration. I was the help, the servant, the background character in my own family. That night, lying in bed, I cried harder than I had in years. But underneath the hurt, something else began to grow. Anger. The kind of anger that makes you stop forgiving, stop hoping things will change, and start planning payback. The next Christmas, I did something my family never expected. Nothing. No alarm at 5 a.m., no grocery list taped to the fridge, no endless chopping, peeling, or roasting. Instead, I poured myself a glass of wine, curled up on the couch with a blanket, and watched my favorite holiday movie. By noon, my phone started buzzing. First, a call from my mom. "Where are you? The turkey isn't even in the oven." I ignored it. Then a text from my sister. "Don't be selfish, everyone's waiting." Waiting for me to save Christmas again. But I didn't reply. As the hours passed, the messages turned frantic. My dad left a voicemail filled with irritation. "Your mother is having a meltdown. The ham's still frozen, and no one knows what to do. Get over here now!" My brother even texted. "We can't just order pizza on Christmas. What were you thinking?" I laughed to myself, sipping my wine. For once, they were forced to face the reality. Without me, their perfect family holiday crumbled. Later that evening, I posted a single picture on social media, me at home, smiling in my pajamas with a plate of Chinese takeout and a caption. "Merry Christmas to me. Stress-free this year." Within minutes, my phone blew up again, angry messages. Guilt trips, desperate pleas. But I didn't cave. I let them sit in the chaos they had created, without their so-called holiday chef to rescue them. It was the sweetest feeling of revenge I'd ever tasted. The family who once dismissed me, ignored my effort, and treated me like hired help was now forced to realize something they had never admitted out loud. I wasn't replaceable, and that Christmas, I gave myself the best gift of all, freedom. The fallout from that Christmas was loud, messy, and honestly satisfying. My family called me selfish, dramatic, even heartless for ruining tradition. But for once, their words didn't sting. Instead, I felt lighter, like I had finally broken free from the invisible chains they'd kept me in for years. The truth was, I hadn't ruined Christmas, I had simply refused to be their servant. And deep down, they knew it. After that day, things changed. The following year, my mom tried to guilt me into taking back the role, but I stood firm. "If dinner means that much to you, you can cook it yourself," I told her. My siblings complained at first, but eventually they had no choice but to pitch in. And you know what? Christmas didn't fall apart. It was messy, yes. The food wasn't perfect, yes. But for the first time, everyone actually helped. It wasn't my revenge that changed the family. It was my refusal to keep sacrificing myself. And the best part? Now I get to enjoy Christmas like I always should have, sitting at the table, laughing, eating, and finally feeling like part of the family, not just the help. Looking back, some people might say I overreacted, that maybe I should have just spoken up instead of walking away. But here's the truth: when you've been ignored for years, when your effort has been dismissed over and over, words stop working. Actions become the only language people finally understand. Skipping Christmas wasn't about being cruel. It was about reclaiming my place in the family. I wasn't the holiday chef. I wasn't their servant. I was a daughter, a sister, and a person who deserved respect, just like everyone else at that table. The lesson here is simple. If people only value you for what you do for them, not for who you are, then it's not love, it's convenience. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is walk away long enough for them to realize your worth. In the end, revenge doesn't always mean hurting someone else. Sometimes, it's just giving yourself the freedom and peace you should have had all along. And trust me, that kind of revenge is sweeter than any holiday dinner. So what do you think? Was I wrong for finally standing my ground? Or was it the only way to make my family see the truth? If you were in my shoes, would you have skipped Christmas too? Or handled it differently? I'd really love to hear your thoughts, so drop your opinions in the comments below. And if this story struck a chord with you, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps more people find these stories. Share this video with a friend who could use a reminder that self-respect isn't selfish. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Revenge Flame and turn on notifications, because we've got plenty more stories of betrayal, justice, and sweet revenge that you won't want to miss. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best revenge is simply choosing yourself.